Hey guys, Captain Snorlax here. With Smash Ultimate on the horizon, and with no new characters or Echo Fighters being revealed yet, I thought I should give my opinion as to who should be in the new game. I'll be doing this in 3 separate videos, and I'll explain what each video is when I make them. But in this video, I'll be discussing the 10 Echo Fighters that I want to see in Smash Ultimate. Now, for those of you who don't know what an Echo Fighter is, they're essentially clone characters with very, very subtle changes. So in Smash 4, there were a lot of clone characters. Like there was Toon Link and Link, Ganon and Falcon, Lucina, Roy and Marth, and two of the clones. In the new game, they're considered Echo Fighters, because their differences are very, very minor, and they're basically just the same character. So it doesn't take up too many slots, and those two characters are Dark Pit and Lucina for Pit and Marth. And the newest Echo Fighter is.
Hi, I'm Daisy.
I wanted to talk about which Echo Fighters that I want to see in the new game. Now, these characters most likely won't be implemented into the new game, so take this as a grain of salt, and also just as a disclaimer, this is my opinion. And this is not a speculation video, this is not a leak video at all. So, again, take this with a grain of salt, and don't get too mad if your character does not show up, or if I don't mention your character. So now here are the top 10 Echo Fighters that I want to see in Smash Ultimate. Number 10, Impa for Sheik. So Impa has gotten sort of an upgrade to her character. That being, she now has a giant sword like Cloud does in Hyrule Warriors. But that's not what I'm going for here. I want to focus on her appearance in Ocarina of Time as the actual Sheik is, because the actual Sheik was literally only in Ocarina of Time, if I'm talking about canonical games. Yeah, Sheik was only actually in Ocarina of Time, so that's where I'm basing Impa off of, and not Hyrule Warriors. She would most likely have her Hyrule Warriors design, as I think Sheik does in the new game anyway. Her moveset will obviously be based around Sheik, because she's an Echo Fighter, as is the whole point of this video. The subtle difference would be that her attacks do very slightly more damage. Maybe like 1.5% more damage on her attacks, because she's a lot more experienced fighter, and she's older, so she would initially just do more damage. Sort of like how Ganon and Falcon were in Melee, except instead of Impa being slower, they would be the same speed, and also from the same franchise. Number 9, Viridi for Palutena. So, I don't know much about Kid Icarus Uprising because I've never played the game, but from what I've heard, I know a little bit enough to give an idea on how this would be. So, instead of having light effects on her attacks like Palutena does, Viridi would have nature-based effects. Also, her attacks would be slightly weaker, because she is younger and less experienced. Number 8, Brittany or Charlie for Alph and Olimar. So, Brittany and Captain Charlie are the two other characters from the Pikmin series. The differing features that they would have would essentially be replacing the purple Pikmin with the rock Pikmin. They would have the same mechanic, like you would just throw them and they wouldn't attach, and they would essentially do the same amount of damage. Also, the main difference would be that the order in which you pick up the Pikmin would be slightly changed. Like, it would be, instead of for Alpha and Olimar, it being red, yellow, blue, white, purple, it would be blue, red, yellow, white, rock. Other than that, they're the same character. Number 7, Morgan for Robin. So I'm a very big fan of the Fire Emblem series, but Fire Emblem Awakening is not one of the games that I've played because of multiple reasons, but I'm getting off topic. So Morgan is Robin's offspring in Awakening, and since Morgan also has a gender swap, like Robin does, it would be pretty well implemented, and like all the skin references and stuff like that would pretty much also be the same. And the only difference would probably be a slightly shorter hitbox, because since Morgan is the offspring, he/she would be slightly shorter, obviously, and their specials would be weaker because they're less experienced. And I'm saying not their basic attacks or aerials, because since Robin is a mage and would basically teach magic attacks to their offspring, the offspring's magical attacks or specials would be weaker in that sense. Number 6, Funky Kong for DK. And let me be real with you guys. I honestly don't know the difference that I would think between these two, because I have not played a single DK game, so I don't really know what the difference would be. I just want to see Funky Kong in Smash. So comment below what you think the differences would be between Funky Kong and DK. And remember, they have to be very, very subtle differences. Okay, number 5, Galactonite for Meta Knight. So Galactonite was the final boss from Kirby Superstar Ultra, and he is canonically stronger than Meta Knight is. And the differences that he would have with Meta Knight is that essentially it would be the reverse of what Marth and Lucina have. So instead of the base character having the tipper, the base character would have the full hitbox, and the Echo Fighter would have the tipper. Because if you look at Galactonite's model, instead of like an actual sword, he basically has like a lance, like a jousting lance. So it would make more sense for Galactonite to have that kind of a weapon, or that kind of a mechanic. That would be like the main difference. And also slightly stronger attacks because, like I said, he's canonically stronger. Number 4, Zack Fair for Cloud. He would just have a slightly stronger limit break, that's it. And if you don't know who Zack Fair is essentially the person who gives Cloud the Buster Sword. They wear the same clothes, pretty much, but the main difference is Zack has different hair. But yeah, that would be the only difference, just a slightly stronger limit break. Number 3, Shadow for Sonic. So I'm not putting Knuckles or Metal Sonic for this one. Some people would want rather than Shadow, because in the games their differences are too much for them to be considered an Echo Fighter. Because Knuckles has his fists and stuff like that, and so he would have a completely different moveset based on his fists, basically. And then Metal Sonic can fly. There's more about him, but he can fly. So can Knuckles. So, yeah. So the reason why I'm putting Shadow here instead of those two is because Shadow's differences are very, very subtle between him and Sonic. I mean, like, yeah, he could have a completely separate moveset based off of Shadow the Hedgehog on the PS2, but what's the point? And also, Shadow is canonically just Sonic, and his attacks would be slightly stronger because that's sort of the whole point of Shadow, for him to be slightly stronger than Sonic. Number 2, Octolings for Inklings. So, the Octolings are essentially the minority of Inkopolis, and they're like very like put down by the Inklings and other creatures. So, I think the main differences that they would have would be like their blasters would have like a slightly different mechanic or something like that. Also, one thing I would like to mention, so you know how when the Octolings or the Inklings go into their squid/octopus form, I like that subtle reference to the mimic octopus that they put for the Octolings, because because the way that they swim in the ink is actually the way that a mimic octopus swims in order to mimic a flounder when trying to get away from predators or something like that, which I thought was pretty cool. So now for the number 1 spot on this list, and that is Ken and Ryu. So this would be the easiest to implement because they could just implement their differences from like Street Fighter 4 or even Third Strike. I'm not saying Street Fighter 5 because they have a couple more major differences between them in Street Fighter 5, but other than that, yeah, this would be the easiest to implement because they're already clone characters in their actual games. And also, why the hell did Ryu not get a Ken skin in Smash 4? It really doesn't make any sense. Like there was an evil Ryu skin, and there was also a freaking Dan Hibiki skin, which is the skin that I use. But come on, it's Ken! Also, why isn't Guile's theme on Suzaku Castle? Whatever, I'm getting off track. So yeah, my number 1 spot goes to Ken and Ryu as Echo Fighters. So yeah, these are the 10 Echo Fighters that I really want to see implemented into Smash Ultimate. Now, again, this is my opinion. If you did not see a character you wanted to get implemented as an Echo Fighter, don't get mad at me, because again, this is all my opinion. So yeah, I'm Captain Snorlax, and I'll see you next time.